I watch Alex Day on YouTube, and he did a video called Life in Letters. It sort of turned into a tag video, so I thought I would join in on the fun and give you my life in letters. So here we go. A is for atheist. It seems I've tried pretty much everything. I've been Catholic, Protestant, agnostic. There were a few scary moments there where I tried Wicca. Then I sort of realized that the only reason I was trying to believe in any of it was to make other people happy, and that seemed like a truly stupid reason to do anything, so I stopped. And I've never been more happy or content than I am right now. B is for bookworm. I actually sort of hated reading as a kid. It wasn't until I got to middle school that I actually started enjoying it. C is for crafts. Because it's something that I love to do, and I like to give people things that I've made. It's like a tangible symbol of how much I care and love about them. D is for depression. It's something I've struggled with my whole life, but I didn't have a name for it until I got to high school, and things got really bad. Fortunately, I found a really great therapist and the band McFly, and the combination of both of them saved my life. I think of depression as my default setting. I can change and customize the settings as much as I want, but sometimes I have a bad day. That turns into a bad few weeks. That can easily turn into a bad couple of months. But I'm stronger now, and I am more able to cope with it. E is for ennui, which is just a Frenchy way to say boredom, which now that I'm single, I am a lot of the time. But fortunately I have an immense and growing collection of Doctor Who to keep me occupied and distracted from my lack of social life and or friends. F is for family, because I have one, and I've actually never been closer to my mom than I am right now. Well, not now, physically. G is for Galaxy Defender. It's what fans of the band McFly call themselves. I consider myself one. It's the first real community that I ever felt a part of. McFly is not only just amazingly talented, but they sort of kept me sane at the worst possible moment of my life, so I owe them everything. They could put out a disco album next month and I would buy it. I'd probably buy it twice just to support them. H is for humor, because I think it's a good thing to have. I is for the saying, idle hands are the devil's playthings. I don't really believe in a big red horned beast, but I love the saying because it sort of describes me perfectly. I don't like to be still. J is for J.K. Rowling. Now, it wasn't her books that made me fall in love with reading, but it was the very first time that I ever really lost myself completely in another world. K is for knitting. It's something I've been doing for about 3 or 4 years now. It's the first craft that I really fell in love with and wanted to learn more about and wanted to get better at. L is for London. I've never been, but ever since I was 10 and I read a biography about Princess Diana, I've been pretty much obsessed with all things royal, and then as I grew up I realized I was just born in the wrong country because everything I love and care about is across the pond. M is for music. I'm not naturally musically inclined or anything, but I love music. I love the expression of it, and I love artists who kind of give themselves wholeheartedly to it. N is for Nebraska. It's where I was born, it's where I've lived my whole life, and I've pretty much wanted to leave almost as long. O is for other half. It's what my best friend and I always call each other because we complement each other so well. She is an extrovert, really funny, and a Mormon. I, on the other hand, am really shy, especially around new people, much more quiet, and an atheist. On paper, we make absolutely no sense, but basically from day one, when she sat herself at the table that my friends and I were having lunch at, we just sort of clicked. P is for peaceful. I don't think I've reached that state yet, but I'm working toward it. Q is for quiet, because I am. R is for restless. I am most of the time. I'll wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and have an idea for a new project and won't be able to go to sleep until I at least start it or write it down or something. S is for Star Wars. It actually was my mom who introduced me to the movies, and really Star Wars just started my love of really great science fiction. T is for travel. When I was 17, I went to New York for a week with some friends and a teacher, and it sparked in me this wanderlust that I've never really gotten rid of. So now I take a trip, or try to take a trip, at least once a year. Sometimes more. U is for Unterseeboot. It's the German word for submarine. In high school, my favorite teacher was my history teacher slash speech coach, and it was his favorite word. Whenever he would talk about like World War II or something, he would try to bring it up as much as humanly possible. And so it's just something that's always stuck with me. V is for Vlogbrothers. I've only been watching for just about a year, maybe a little more, and they have shown me so much and taught me a lot. And the biggest being that you don't have to be important or famous to change the world. You just have to want to, which is a really great lesson to learn. W is for Whedon, as in Joss Whedon. He is a writer, for anyone who doesn't know. I've been a fan of books and movies and music, but he was the first writer that I ever felt like I was a fan of. X is for Xena Warrior Princess. I watched her when I was a kid and really loved her. I wanted to be Lucy Lawless. I used to pretend to do like the fighting moves and stuff, and that's really embarrassing, but that's okay. Y is for YouTube. I've been watching for like 6 or 7 years now, and I am just such a fan. I am first and foremost a fan. What the Buck Show, the Phil DeFranco Show, Vlogbrothers and their various channels. It's Way Past My Bedtime, Amazing Phil, Dan Is Not on Fire, Charlie Is So Cool Like, Woto, Alex Day. I'm sure I'm missing a whole slew of others, but I think you get the point. And finally, Z is for Zigga Zig Ah, because I was a massive, massive fan of the Spice Girls growing up. So that's my life in letters. Goodbye. If you wanna be my lover.